I'm a little concerned you may have forgotten how beautiful this thing looks, so just take another look. Just take it all in. I'm sure you've also noticed the Billy XL is kind of on top. It's not fixed in place, it is just sort of floating there, but you're getting a better idea of what it's going to look like when the whole cage is together. I unfortunately have been delayed in finishing the cage off because turns out those beams that I placed along the top of the beaker to support the Billy XL, I changed my mind on them because I put the Billy XL on top to see how it would look before I fixed everything into place, and I noticed the beams were bowing just a tiny bit, just a fraction of a bow in there. But since I will be doing a fully natural setup in the Billy XL, and I know from doing these setups in the past that the cage gets very, very heavy when you do a natural setup, I want to be extra safe about supporting that cage, especially because there will be iodine living below. I cannot take any risks there. So I needed to get my hands on some more sturdy, more stable wood that was not going to bow at all, that would be able to take the weight of all the substrate in the Billy XL, and that's what's delayed me. I do have the wood now though, and that I believe is going to be the first thing we do this evening.
Every time I'm down, yeah, you make me smile. You're the solution. You are, 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 you are the solution. You are the solution. You are, 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 you are the solution. You are the solution. I wanna hold your head, you're everything that I desire.
The cage has new supports and the Billy XL is fixed into place, but I forgot to do one thing, which is really annoying because now I'm not going to be able to do any more steps with this cage until late this evening. I want to change the wheels over. The wheels I have on it are not that good, they're not taking the weight very well, and I can't move the cage that easily, so I bought some new wheels that will take the weight, that will move easily, and I know that because they're the exact same wheels I have on the test tube cage, and they work great. But I can't flip this cage over on my own, not without breaking it or damaging it, so I'm going to have to wait till Dan gets home from work, which won't be until about 1 AM, and until then I can't do any more work on this cage. That's really annoying. Oh well, not much I can do about it now, so instead I am going to take Rodney out for a run around, get some of his extra energy worn out, and then I need to give Zinc a clean out because he's getting stinky. He actually doesn't smell that much. I know I've said this before, but male mice have a reputation for being very, very smelly. And I don't know if I've got lucky or if I don't have a great sense of smell for mousy smells, but he doesn't smell any more than my hamsters, and I don't think hamsters smell really that much at all. There's a distinct, you know, hamstery, mousy, rodenty smell, but it's not strong and it's not a bad smell. Maybe that's just me. He is so proud of himself. He just brought me back a meaty bone, a rotten meaty bone. that he's found somewhere out in the fields. Huh. Apparently I needed it. What have you found? Please don't tell me there's something dead over there. Oh, lovely. Here's a random snail shell I found on the way home. This thing is big. That's an impressive shell. Right now I am setting up multiple playpens because all of the small pets have decided it's time to come out and play, and this is not an ideal situation because I prefer to be able to deal with the animals one at a time, have one-to-one time. I think that's what most owners prefer to do. It's just a lot easier, allows you to bond more easily with the individual. So this one is going to be Osmium's, and I always set Ozzy's up with her wooden toys that I'm planning on putting into her new cage, just so she can start marking her scent on them and it can start smelling more familiar. So when I do move her in, because it's going to be such a big change for the setup, at least some of it's going to smell familiar to her, and that's going to help keep her stress levels low. Here she is, my little Aussie bean. Her bum is looking really gross at the minute. She decided to urinate in her wheel, which is fairly normal for her. However, she then rolled around and sat in her still wet urine, and now her bum is disgusting. I'm giving her the chance to keep it clean or to clean it up on her own. It's been like this for maybe 1 or 2 days now. It does look a little cleaner, so I think she's taking care of it. I want to avoid having to use wipes or anything. Hopefully she should just take care of it. I'm going to let her go there now. She can explore and have fun. So Iodine was also asking to come out of her cage, but she seems to be more interested in her wheel now. So I'm going to try and get away with leaving her in there for a bit, and I'm going to put Zinc in this one instead, so that I can clean his cage. And then if Iodine still wants to come out later, I can swap someone over. Look at the pouches on this one. She has just stuffed her face. Oh, you're such a piggy. They're amazing animals. It genuinely is the most fascinating thing about them, their ability to pouch to, I think it's 2/3 of their body size. It's a stupid amount of food. No one needs that much food. Speaking of cheek pouches, that is the one thing that both me and Dan have found the hardest to come to terms with having a mouse. They don't have cheek pouches. Every time you give them food, I expect him to put it in his pouches, which he doesn't have. And it's really trippy because it throws you off for a moment. Here is the before of Zinc's cage, as you can see. Mice are very, very, very messy animals. They are not unclean. They're very, hygienic. They love to wash themselves. They love to keep themselves clean. But their cages they always look a mess. Every time you see a mouse cage, it's always a state. And it's just because that's the way mice are. They're messy animals. I mean, all of this under here, it looks messy to me, but I know to him it's completely logical because everything you see here, this is all a burrow system. So this house, I know he has created sort of 4 tunnels that come off, one from each side, The one that comes off the back here goes round and ends up by his wheel, which he never uses. The one at the front connects up to this house, which has an exit coming out here, but also goes under there, and there's I believe there's a tunnel that's now buried under there, but that also joins up to here. There's a PVC pipe up here, which is also joined up, and that joins up to this, and these are joined up to another tunnel system that comes out under here, and joins into that, and joins back up into the corner over there, and then you've got another exit which comes out here and then goes back under that tunnel, which then joins back up to this side of the house, and it's just all one amazing circuit. So underground, I'm sure it looks incredible. Unfortunately, I don't get to experience the underground part. I just have to look at this all the time. I'm just going to jump straight into cleaning his cage. If you want to see exactly how I clean it, there is a video on my channel, but for this video I'm just going to jump straight to the clean and tidy version. Ta-da! There's the new setup. It took me way longer than I expected to put everything back in, but it's looking lovely and clean. I've moved the shelf to the front corner. He now has a tightrope going across the entire cage. I don't know if he'll use it, but we'll see. He's got all his hanging toys, which he loves, and fresh new bedding, aspen and wood pellets, as always. Works really well for odor control, and also makes fantastic sturdy burrows. And you can see all his toys along the bottom, and I'm sure they will be completely buried within a couple of hours. We've just finished replacing the wheels on the beaker cage, so now it's much easier to move around. It was a bit of a task to get the cage flipped over. It's a very heavy cage, hence having wheels on it in the first place. But now that it's done, I can finally start setting up the inside, and there's not much left to do on that, and then all I have to do is put the doors back on, and Iodine can finally move in. I will be doing a cage tour very soon on this cage, but one thing I wanted to mention is the slight difference in the pellets I'm using this time. Normally I use pine pellets, which, unlike pine shavings, pine pellets are safe to use, and pine pellets have a very pale brown colour to them, whereas these ones clearly have a very dark, rich brown colour, and that's because these are actually beech pellets. So if you are looking for perhaps a different tone when you're using pellets in your cage, look at the different woods that you can find in pellet form, because beech I think is a really pretty one, but we can only get this certain times of the year. I think it does look lovely in this particular setup though. It's got a kind of a more earthy, mud-like feel to it, which I think goes well with the garden. Oh, and by the way, for those who don't know why I use just pellets with Iodine, she is unfortunately allergic to aspen, and she's also sensitive to a few other substrates, so we have to be very careful with what we give her, and so she is given pellets because they don't cause her any irritation. And then I will also add some homemade paper bedding in as well. Sadly, we can't purchase paper bedding commercially. Things like Carefresh are not available to us, so that's not an option, but these do work very well for us. I won't be showing you the final setup of this cage in this vlog because I want to save that for the cage tour itself, which will be coming very soon. But I have a couple of things that I mentioned in my last video on this cage that I said I'd be making, and I'm going to show you those. The first thing is possibly the most adorable. It's this bumblebee bridge. How cute is that? Now, all of the shelves and everything in this cage, they've all been made from the shelves in Iodine's previous cage, so I just recolored them and reshaped some of them, including Bumblebee Bridge. This was one of the first ones that I did. This was Iodine's old bridge that went across between two of her shelves, and I've just coloured it black and yellow, giving it that cute little face, and now it connects up from the mushroom garden to this little shelf here. This is just so she has easy access to the front of the cage. The other thing I made is this daisy flower shelf and hide. So we've got the shelf up here, and underneath we have a plant pot hide. Now my original plan with this pot is that I was just going to cut a doorway in so it was nice and tidy, but terracotta, if you've ever tried to cut terracotta, it takes a very, very long time, and I was getting really impatient with it. I didn't have much time to give to this particular project, and so what I ended up doing is I just dropped the plant pot on the floor, purposefully shattering it, and then used aquarium silicone to join the pieces back together, leaving this one big piece out the front. So now she has a doorway, and I made sure to sand down all of these edges so they are rounded off. Oops, they are rounded off, they are not sharp at all. She cannot hurt herself on them. It's a different way of going about doing it. It was much quicker, but yeah, it's an interesting result. I'm still quite happy with it. I think it's cute, especially that shelf. I'm going to wrap this vlog up here and carry on with setting up this cage so I can finally move Iodine in. I am so excited about her seeing her new home. And the next video that will be posted on my channel will be a full cage tour, and the video after that should be Iodine exploring her new space. So thank you so much for watching this vlog today, guys. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up. You can also share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks once again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!